All right, if you're a research student, I'm willing to bet you've wrestled with this one term, the theoretical framework. Yeah, it can feel like this massive, confusing hurdle in your thesis, right? But honestly, it doesn't have to be. We're gonna break it all down today. So let's just dive right in. I mean, does this feel familiar? You're just staring at that blinking cursor, the deadline is creeping closer and closer, and this one big chapter, it just won't come together. Trust me, you are not alone in this. So let's figure out exactly how to build this thing piece by piece. Okay, so let's get right down to it. What is a theoretical framework anyway? Is it just some academic jargon you have to check off a list? Is it basically the same thing as your literature review? Spoiler alert, no. Or is it something way more important, something fundamental to whether your research stands or falls? Okay, first things first. To understand this, we've got to lay the foundation. Let's define what a framework actually is. So at its very core, you can think of a theoretical framework as the intellectual scaffolding for your whole project. It's not just about your idea floating out there on its own. It's about taking your idea and supporting it, giving it structure with a theory that's already been established. And here is the absolute best way to think about it. If your research is a building you're constructing, then the theoretical framework is its concrete foundation. I mean, think about it. Without a solid foundation, that whole building is just going to be wobbly and unstable, right? A strong framework makes sure your work can stand up to any tough questions that come its way. It's basically the central hub of your entire study. It's like the glue or the connective tissue that holds everything together. It connects to your research problem, to your variables, to your hypotheses, and even to how you end up interpreting all your data. It's what makes it all make sense as a whole. You know, the famous research expert John W. Creswell put it perfectly. He said the framework is the lens through which the researcher views and interprets the study. And that's so key. It's not just another section you have to write, it's the actual perspective that shapes your entire project from start to finish. Okay, so we've got a handle on what it is, but why do you need one? Like, why is it so non-negotiable? Let's talk about the actual structural support it gives your research. And yeah, let's be super clear, this is not an optional extra. It gives your whole study a clear direction, a roadmap. So you're not just lost in a sea of data. It explains the why you think certain things are connected, and it anchors your hypotheses in solid, established theory, not just, a gut feeling. Let me give you a really concrete example. Imagine you're researching what motivates students. Instead of just trying to invent your own ideas from scratch, you could lean on something powerful like self-determination theory. Suddenly you have this incredible pre-built toolkit for looking at things like intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. It's all there for you. And that right there is what takes your work to the next level. It stops being just a collection of your own observations or opinions and becomes a real, genuine academic contribution. You literally get to stand on the shoulders of giants, using their amazing work to look at your own research problem in a whole new light. Okay, let's tackle something that trips up so many students, the difference between a theoretical framework and a literature review. Let's go back to our building metaphor. Think of the literature review as the entire library, or maybe a giant hardware store full of building materials. The framework, that's the specific detailed blueprint for your house and your house alone. So your lit review casts this really wide net, right? It's like you're taking a tour of the whole academic neighborhood, seeing what everyone else has already built. And crucially, it helps you spot that one empty lot. That's your research gap. Your theoretical framework, on the other hand, is super focused. It's narrow and deep. It is the architectural plan for the one specific house you are going to build on that empty lot. So if you only remember one thing, make it this. Literature review, that's about them and what they've already done. Theoretical framework, that's all about you and the theory that's going to support your study. All right, enough with the what and the why. Let's get to the good stuff, the how. How in the world do you actually build one of these things? Don't worry, I've got a simple, step-by-step guide for you. Seriously, this process is way more manageable than it sounds. So, step 1, just identify your key variables. What are the big concepts you're actually measuring? Let's say teaching method and student achievement. Got it? Okay. Step 2, now you go hunting. Search the literature for a theory that helps explain the link between those two things. Step 3, once you find your theory, you explain it. Who came up with it? What are its main ideas? Its assumptions? Lay it all out. And then step 4, and this is the most important part, you have to connect that theory directly to your study, to your variables. And finally, step 5, which is optional, but man, is it powerful, draw a diagram. A little chart showing how everything connects can be a total game changer. Okay, so now you have the blueprint. But before you start building, let's talk about what not to do. Let's look at some common mistakes. Think of these as the cracks in the foundation you absolutely have to avoid. So here are the big ones to watch out for. First off, don't just write another literature review. That's not what this chapter is for. Second, don't throw in the kitchen sink. Using way too many unrelated theories just muddies the water. It's so much better to pick one, maybe two, that are a perfect fit. Another huge one is just stating a theory and then leaving it there. You have to build the bridge and connect it to your specific research. And finally, please, don't just copy-paste definitions. That's not the point. Because at the end of the day, here's what your examiners are looking for. They want to see your brain at work. They want to see that you get the theory, that you've really grappled with it, and that you can apply it in a smart, thoughtful way to your own project. That is what separates a good thesis from a great one. So let's wrap this up with the key takeaways. Your framework. Number 1, it's the foundation of your study. 2, it's based on an established theory. 3, it explains how your variables are connected. And 4, it guides your entire research design. Simple as that. And that brings us to the final, most important question. A question for you to think about as you move forward. Take a hard look at your work and ask yourself, is the thing I'm building strong enough to stand on its own? Is my research built on a truly solid foundation?